Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to part 8 of Dragon Age Origins Awakening with a Therapist. I am grateful for you taking the time to watch through this DLC. Hope you've been enjoying it. I assume you have been if you made it this far. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. I appreciate your engagement a lot. Thanks for sharing. Check out the links down in the description for all the other places that you can find these streams. And yeah, y'all are fantastic for making it this far. We got Boba Fett doors we got to go through here. And if you were not able to binge this, you've been waiting to see what's behind the Boba Fett doors for a long time. So let's figure out what it is. Oh, by the way, hang out with us on Twitch sometime. Would love to see you. Let's rock. Kal Hiral Trade Quarter. Are we ready, kids?
Rush the attack! Go! The lost is mine!
Uh-oh. Lots of talking Darkspawn.
I understand how difficult surviving poverty can be. When I came back from the free marches, I had nothing. No money, no family. Nothing.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
You have my respect for surviving what you did.
I didn't survive. Legion of the Dead, remember?
Oh.
Huh. That was a pretty solid way to use your own experience to attempt to empathize with somebody. I gotta give Nathaniel some credit there. It was a little bit more like initiated on his end instead of being like she was disclosing something. He goes, oh yeah, I've been there. And he was just like, hey, I've been thinking about you. I also grew up poor, and here are ways that it feels like I can connect with you. I appreciate that. That's kind of cool. You gotta be careful with the you got to be careful with how often you use your own experiences to empathize with people, because it's often going to be more invalidating than anything else. Alrighty. I don't know much about... I mean, I know that this is a Dwarven Tig. It is pretty gross in here. I agree with that statement for sure. What's up? I'm feeling good about this party. I really am. What do we have here? Look at these, like, golems that have... Man, so not only are they, like, big-ass, strong golems, they've also got armor on them. That's nutty. Hiral's Sarcophagus. Heavy Maul. Girdle of Kal Hiral. 6 defense, fire resistance, cold resistance, physical resistance. That actually may not be too bad. Oh, no! Okay. Okay. Oh, boy. These guys, I guess, aren't as strong as we thought they might be. Wall carving. The Paragon Hiral. Paragon Hiral was born a warrior. He excelled at arms and strategy, but was not content. Hiral believed that he was born outside the caste system, able to be anything he chose, a warrior, a smith, even a noble. He would not rest until he'd mastered the art of war, the art of smithing, and the art of rule. He was eccentric, maybe even mad. Some said he'd taken too many blows to the head in the provings, yet Hiral accomplished what he set out to do. He trained under the greatest smiths and the greatest warriors, and his achievements in both fields were so great that the assembly could not help but make him a paragon. Thus, Noble House Hiral was born. Go get him, Tiger. Nathaniel, of all the companions, seems to be the most willing to connect in a nice way. In Dragon Age Origins, everybody seemed to say nice things with a bit of an edge. It's an interesting observation. I mean, I think Nathaniel, he seems to be a pretty decent dude in the sense that he wants to understand people. I mean, he has a little bit of back and forth with Justice, but his reputation unfortunately precedes him by virtue of being a How. And I think that he is probably conscientious of how he can get out in front of that. I mean, I don't know that Sigrun is going to be somebody who understands who he is as being a How, but I certainly do. And if he's trying to win my favor as the leader of the group, I think he's doing a decent job by trying to connect with the group. It's not a bad way to go about it. Oh shit. Wait, are these, what the hell? These guys are fighting each other right now. Or at least they were. Why y'all fighting each other right now? What are we doing? The hell? How do we get over there? Gotta take this weird ass bridge. Okay. A lot of darkspawn down here. Nice job, team. Let's go clean up our mess. This is like Last of Us vibes. It's like there's like cordyceps down here. These rich darkspawn down here, thriving economy down in the deep roads. What do we got over here? Ooh. Oh. No! Oh. Oh God. Partha. Ooh, what a shield. +2 cunning, +15 defense, 5% chance to dodge, 20 chance to avoid missile attacks, absorbs damage. Holy shit. Yes, please. I'll take that. Partha. Which means that we can give Justice the Landsmeet shield, which is a bit better than what he was currently packing. Sigrun's hurt. Hey, that's not good. Let's get you cleaned up here. Satheron, thank you very much for the 22 months. I appreciate that.
May the stone remember the defenders of Kal Haral, who were born casteless and died warriors. Died warriors. He wanted them to be remembered as warriors. Warrior caste. And look, he carved their names in this tablet. All of them. We can't just leave this here. We have to find some way to honor the memory of those who died here.
That's huge, man. I mean, from what we know of Dwarven society, the fact that a Paragon was using his status to elevate the casteless, that's some good shit. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some whack-ass stuff that was going on with him that's going to make this all come crumbling down. But ultimately, that idea sounds pretty cool. That he was like, I think this caste system is really dumb. I think it's limiting people. So I'm going to be a badass at everything to a point that y'all can't fight against it. And then I'm going to use that power, prestige, and reputation to elevate others into certain, like, a new way of thinking about them. I think that's awesome. Right? Like, now, granted, yes, I agree. Is bringing them into the warrior caste ideal? Not necessarily, because they're, you know, they're meat shields for the greater cause. But we also have to take into account, I think, dwarven culture as it relates to that, which is that people seem to be more like, hey, I'd rather be a warrior than a casteless. If for no other reason than if you are recognized in death as a warrior, it means your family in future generations aren't doomed to a life of forced shame by virtue of being casteless because of what their, you know, 6 times great grandparent did back in the day. So, as we always talk about, right, like, cultural shifts are slow. They are not always quick. And if this was one way to chip away at that idea, and that is juxtaposed against a lot of people not doing shit, I'm all for it. 99, thank you so much for the 7 months. Appreciate you. Pile of bones. Duster leather greaves, engraved silver bracers. Look at this. We got these, like, we got a loot cave over here.
I'll get on it.
Got some more sand from a boy back at Vigil's Keep. Pretty much the same as Balin did. Join the army, get free college. I mean status. I know. I know. Boy. Jeez. What are we interrupting? Like, I want to know what the hell's going on down here. You guys are all fighting with each other. Maybe it's like we're at, like, training grounds or something. Oh, invading. They're called invading Hurlocks. Is there infighting amongst the Darkspawn? Wouldn't it be pretty wild if there's, like, a segment of Darkspawn that's like, yo, why are we doing this? Why do we keep going up and terrorizing people on the surface? Can't we be diplomatic? Can't we work with them? And then there's, like, another group that's like, no, you can't. We, Darkspawn, we hold on to conservative Darkspawn values. Be pretty wild.
Oh, go soak your head.
Nathaniel does not like when I take control over him, though. That's for sure. That he does not seem interested in. Because I love that he gives me, like, a snotty remark every single time I don't want to miss out on content in here. Then you could have rational centrist Darkspawn who think we should terrorize people sometimes, yes. Damaged axe. You have to. I want to know what all these broken. I mean, obviously these broken things are going to matter at some point. At least I would think they would have to. Oh God. That's not shale.
Yes.
Repair equipment. You place the damaged equipment on the anvil. Oh shit. Whoa. Sweet. Thank you, Mr. Gollum. That was cool. I wonder if Sigrun would appreciate wearing this. Probably not, because it's super heavy. Oh, excuse me. How about you, Justice? Maybe not. I do think, yeah, we need to let's give Sigrun some better weapons here. Air splitter. There we go. Nathaniel is good. Justice is still rocking the Winter Blade. Let's get him the Darkspawn Longsword. I finally took the leap. I'm seeing a therapist. Your video on finding a therapist helped a ton. That's awesome, Foxfire. I am glad that my video helped you. Good for you. I hope it's a good experience for you. All right, here we go. See what we have in here. More Darkspawn. Howdy. Get rid of the emissary first. Oh, you're running away. We are achieving great wealth via the Darkspawn right now. What is this? Pile of bones. Look at the bones! There's a health poultice chilling in there. Who's this? Who this? Stefan?
Thank the Maker. It's a relief to see someone who isn't one of those monsters. Please, for the love of all that's good, let me out. I couldn't stand another minute with these creatures.
This is interesting. Like, you're not a ghoul, are you? You all right?
Yes, I haven't been injured or infected with the Darkspawn corruption. I swear.
They kept you alive. That's odd. And what's a human doing down here anyway?
Oh, I overheard Colbert talking about the chasm, and I thought I'd sneak in past the Darkspawn to see if there was any treasure. Well,
Oh, it's this guy.
I found something in this place before the Darkspawn caught me.
You thief! What you have belongs to the Dwarven people.
Well, they weren't here to defend it. It's not stealing if they've abandoned it. You can have it if you let me out. I don't want it anymore. It's caused nothing but trouble.
What did you find?
I'm not sure, but it looks valuable. I've got a nose for these things, trust me. Come on, all I want is to get out of here.
This is such an odd moment. Like, why is he imprisoned? Like, the Darkspawn have just, all they've tried to do is kill me down here. Yet he found his way into a cage. Like, I don't understand why the Darkspawn would have kept him alive. That really, 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 really is throwing me off here. I remember this guy being talked about. There were the guys in Amaranthine, I think that it was, that were talking about this guy coming down here. And maybe he's in the early stages of being Darkspawn. I mean, he said he's not, I would have to take him at his word that he's not infected. I appreciate that he was able to name that at the outset. But what is kind of surprising to me, or at least is incongruent to me, is he hasn't referred to them as Darkspawn. But he somehow knows that you can turn into Darkspawn if you are tainted by the Darkspawn. I'm gonna let him out, but I would be more like, you're coming with me, and if I see anything weird, then I'm gonna take care of it.
Thank you. My life is worth more than this. Take the blasted thing.
And now you die anyway. Alright, good luck getting back, dude.
Thank you. Thank you a million times over.
Masterpiece flame rune. That's it. That's all I got. Alright. Your life is definitely worth more than that. That's for sure. Yeah, whatever. Here's hoping we don't regret that and he's some, like, soon-to-be Darkspawn and goes and infects everybody that he hangs out with after. We'll deal with that later. Oh, the baby. Look at the baby. What a baby. Oh, God. It's an adolescent. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, you're not a baby anymore, huh? Oh. Hey, guys, get it off of me, please. Thank you. I think we all remember. Yeah, right? I think we all remember puberty. That looks about right. Darkspawn puberty looks pretty relatable. This place sucks. Ugh, what's up, kids? Hello, children. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Hate it. I hate it. Boy, I don't know if my man that we just got that rune from is gonna make it back if these things are all hanging out. Guess we'll find out. A vase. Alright, giving me these health poultices. I'm down for that. Dwarven mace. God. More little kitties. Oh, don't you do it. Don't you freaking do it. Oh, so you're the ones leaving the kids unsupervised. These things are awful. This might be one of the worst enemies in the history of video games. Oh my God. BioWare's like, let's design the most horrifically terrible thing we could possibly think of. Ugh. They sound disturbing. They are disturbing. All right, this seems a little suspect. What is this? Dwarven massive armored gloves, dwarven massive armor. And some money. Helm of Hiral's defense. Cool. We'll take it just because, you know, gotta have it. What do we have in here? Nothing. What's up, Victoria? Okay. So, little dwarven storage locker, huh? Do I go up here or do I go over? There's just so many different areas we can go to. Level up Nathaniel. Ooh, more. What is this? Let's go. This guy over here. Well, that wasn't that hard. Let's get him going with disengage. I don't think anything's gonna top the Pentagon. Gauntlets of Haral's defense. Nature's blessing. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Anything else that we no lore or anything? Bummer. All right. Glad we went over there. Up we go. Okay, hi there, hey. Okay. Really are terrible noises.
Great.
Ugh. Oh, at least they're jumping on me. I'd have nightmares. Absolute nightmares if this was real. Come on. Oh my god. I'm all for physical touch as a sign of affection, but it needs to be consensual. What was that noise? Look at this. They're fighting each other. Oh my god. Yes, can we please go back to the Knotwood Hills? I'm tired of this silly ass place. Oh man, this whole time could have just... Oh, alright. Alright, what's down here? What do we have down here? Oh, Kal Hiral, the lower reaches. Do we go back to the Knotwood Hills or do we go down? Of course we're gonna go down. Gather your party and continue. Sure, why not? Alright. Glad there's still some daylight coming in here. Oh, God, this place sucks. This place sucks. Ugh.
Is anyone else afraid of what we'll find at the end of this corridor?
Yeah, dude. Appreciate that you can acknowledge that. I'm not sure I like the idea of what we're gonna find. Oh, God. Whoa.
The architect sends many, but does not come himself. He is a coward. I will kill you, and he will know that he has failed to destroy the loft. He will know that the mother will tear him apart. Who comes now? I can feel you, but you are no darkspawn. What trickery is he planning? You will die, as all who serve the architect will die. The mother demands it.
Oh, this is not good. Okay. Well, here's hoping. Drink up. Okay, good. Good. Nathaniel, summon the bear. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and do that. Sigrun needs, I guess, she's got a lot of health, so let's do this. Okay.
He must have been protecting the brood mother. Now we just have to put an end to them and whatever these darkspawn were planning.
Okay. Ruby, Infernal Golem Shell. This segment of armor is an Infernal Golem. Damaging it is nearly impossible. Golem's Might. You recovered a piece of Golem's tough armor shell. Find someone who can fashion something useful out of it. I bet I know who can! Staff of the Lost. Dude was packing. Serious heat. Alright, let's read the codex. That wasn't too bad. Creatures. The children. When grubs devour the flesh of a slain darkspawn, a dramatic change occurs. To a sound of tearing flesh, legs emerge. The childer can now run down its prey with startling speed. It's so much better when it's on fire. Centuries ago, during the Dwarven Empire's golden age, dwarves commanded vast armies of golems. Golems guarded the tides and patrolled every branch of the deep roads. As men of steel and stone, they were eternal, indestructible, and perfectly obedient. But Paragon Hiral was not satisfied. He wanted Kal Hiral's golems to be greater. In his forge, he gave them hearts like furnaces that would burn evermore. Thus became the Inferno golems, with eyes that burned and veins coursing with molten lava. Dude. That's some badass stuff. Grease fire. Most forms of grease, magical or otherwise, are highly flammable. Don't ever pour water on a grease fire. When grease comes into contact with an open flame, it ignites, resulting in a sea of burning grease that is deadly to any creature passing through it. Once the grease is burned up, the fire subsides. Cool. Alright, glad we were able to knock that guy out. Let's see what more we have ahead of us. Respectfully, I greatly dislike the children grubs. Does anybody here like them? They're a metaphor for real children.
Brilliant.
Oh, good. It's the Kraken. Gotta kill the Darkspawn Kraken. Oh, God. Oh, look at that. They're in sync. Da 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 dum da 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 dum. Come on, Jeffrey. Chain. No, this is Patrick.
Those
Nano.
tentacles. They can't get to us up here, can they?
They just did, Nathaniel. Whack it. He's hacking, he's hacking, he's whacking. He's hacking, he's hacking, he's whacking. Hey, everybody, did the news get around about a man whose name's Butcher Pete? Old Pete came down into this town and he's chopping up all the women's meat. He's hacking, he's hacking, he's whacking. He's hacking, he's hacking, he's whacking. He's hacking, he's hacking, he's whacking. He's hack, whack, chopping that meat. That song is a bop.
We did it. If the rest of the Legion were alive, I know they would honor you in some way.
That's all we had to do? I like being honored with gifts of gold. Adorn me. I'm so sorry that so many had to die.
I used to wish I could get away from the others. Now I'm all alone and I just want them back. Silly, isn't it? What's curious is that we seem to be caught between two factions of Darkspawn. I've never heard of such a thing. The Darkspawn are by nature vicious, and they have always fought amongst each other. But for there to be two organized factions, this is something else.
Yeah, man, we're all wrapping our heads around it too. I've met the architect. I don't know that I need to disclose all that. I'm just gonna say I've noticed that too. It worries me.
Good. It's not just me then. Something has changed in the Darkspawn, and I don't think I like it. Well, it's something to ponder. Especially when you need to be reminded that impending doom is always right around the corner.
That it is. You're strange? Come on, BioWare, when you're just mailing it in. Oh, well, you're weird. Thanks for disclosing that. You know, thanks for talking about all your dead fallen Legion of the Dead. You're weird. You're such a weirdo. Like you're just so strange to me. We should go opposite ways. What will you do now? Like what? What will you do now?
Oh, I'll probably disappear into the bowels of the Deep Roads, never to be seen again. One good thing about the Deep Roads is that you never run out of Darkspawn to fight.
True. Off you go then. I mean, I can respect that. I also would be totally down for her to come with me. She seems like she could be pretty useful. I also wonder what it would be like to elevate somebody from the Legion of the Dead. I mean, she could certainly say no, but I don't have any issue with her coming with me if she's down. She could be of real use to the party. And she seems cool. She gets along with everybody. Perhaps you'd consider coming with me?
Go? With you? But that would go against my vow, and my plan to disappear into the deep, unmourned, and forgotten.
Why does she have to be a Grey Warden to be with me? Oh. Like, come on, man. You can't just, like, just have people around because they're cool. Like, we have to conscript freaking everybody. Like, we just got to go, like, channel our inner Duncan. Be like, hey, yeah, that's already a huge ask. Because as a dwarf, you care so much about what it is that you're doing, and as a person who took a vow to the Legion of the Dead, you have decided that you're going to fight the Darkspawn for all eternity. And as far as I'm concerned, that sucks. But if you're honored by that, and that makes you feel good, and you want to go that way, that's awesome. Why don't I go ahead and take advantage of this moment of vulnerability, give you a chance to get out of that space if you want to engage with your own autonomy, and then I'll conscript you into the Grey Wardens, where you got a 50-50 chance to die when you drink out of that cup. Are you kidding me? You get conscripted. You get conscripted. You get conscripted. I hate being the Warden Commander. Like, it feels so gross to me because we're taking advantage of her vulnerability here. And, you know, to really, like, drive this point home about how terrible this is people in positions of power are confronted with this type of thing frequently. And when you have the power and you have a subordinate, so to speak, who is in a position of vulnerability, you do have leverage to get them to do things they might not otherwise do. That's what makes this feel so gross to me. Because I am now a person that she feels a sense of connection to because I helped her follow through on this plan. I literally just killed a brood mother and this giant golem I have avenged her fallen friends and kin that she's been with. So by virtue of being in a position of power and being a person that she's going to associate with that, I have a significant amount of influence here. Like, my guess is that when we first met, if I was like, yo, you want to drink some blood that you have a 50-50 shot of dying when you drink it, she'd probably be like, nah, dude, I'm good. I'm in the Legion of the Dead. I'll do my thing. But now she has buy-in, or I have buy-in. I now represent more to her than just some random dude who showed up at her doorstep. And if I'm not mindful of this moment, I could absolutely take advantage of that to conscript her into the Grey Wardens, which to me is just unbelievably selfish. She did an absolutely wonderful job fighting the Darkspawn by having somebody who's a Grey Warden with her. And as we know, the only thing you need Grey Wardens for, actually, beyond smelling Darkspawn, is to kill the Archdemon. So what's to stop us from limiting the amount of Grey Wardens, and they're like leading platoons of people who volunteer to do this? Like, she did just fine here without being conscripted. I don't want to conscript her. That is just so shitty. It's taking advantage of her. And as a person who wants to reform the Grey Wardens, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let her go back to the Deep Roads. Because I have more influence than just her saying, like, yes or no. Like, could I give her the 411 or whatever that phrase is? Could I give her that and say, look, here's the deal. If you're going to come with me, you got to drink out of this goblet of blood and you might die. Maybe she'd take it because she's like, well, I'm part of the Legion of the Dead anyway. And I've basically, I'm up against that, and that's fine. She might say, no, never mind. I'm going to go back down into the Deep Roads. But again, I'm in a really delicate position, and if this was me, I would love to be able to say, look, I would never conscript her. I would never conscript her. Oh, this is killing me. Also, Widgie and Quinstock, thank you so much for the raids. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you for bringing people over here. You caught us right in the middle. It doesn't say, well, no, it doesn't say conscript, but if I'm saying I'm looking for Grey Wardens, join us. The implication there is that I'm conscripting her. I mean, I'm not actually conscripting her, but like, I'm pulling her here with us to do the ritual, to do the joining. If she was just going to join my party, that would be fine. Oh, this sucks. This sucks so much. Would conscripting only be ethical during a blight, since Grey Wardens are 100% needed at the time? I think it's... I hate conscription, and I hate the secrecy of it. I know I've been very consistent about that through Origins and through Awakening. And I'm sure that there are people watching this video right now on YouTube, or maybe even in chat right now on Twitch, that are like, dude, don't dismiss her. That's yet another party member you're dismissing. But I do not like the idea of suggesting that the only way she could join us is to join the Grey Wardens. It just doesn't feel right to me. Could we headcanon that we tell her all the risks involved? I can. Because it's not a bad idea to ask her to come with us. It would be a hell of a thing for a person from the Legion of the Dead to become a Grey Warden. That can happen, Widgie. It can. And when it does, it sucks. Oh, man, this is tough. Okay. I'm gonna headcanon this. Because I don't want to send her away. Because she seems interested in coming with. So what I'm gonna do is what I would say to her is I would really like you to come with me. Part of joining me, if you're up for it, is to become a Grey Warden. I would be honored to have you join the ranks of the Grey Wardens. I think it could be really important for a person from the Legion of the Dead to be a Grey Warden. If that is something that you would be honored by, I would be happy to put you through the joining. But you need to know that in order to go through the joining, there's a chance that you may die. You're going to have to drink Darkspawn blood. And you run the risk of dying on the spot if you drink the blood. And I want to acknowledge that I am asking you this question, or I am giving you this information at a time where I am in favor in your mind, because we have just gone through this whole thing together. And I in no way am trying to pressure you to do this. I want you to sit on it. I want you to think about it. I would love to have you come with me. I also do not want you to come with me out of a sense of obligation or that you owe me because I just went with you on this really meaningful journey. This is completely your decision. And I want to make sure that you understand the risks going into it. That is how I would have to deliver that information to feel good about it. I hate so much that we need everybody to join the Grey Wardens in order to be with us. I think that's ridiculous. By the way, those of you that have come in from chat, that have come into chat from like any of the raids, if you have a mental health question that is not related to what's happening in the game, I encourage you to go to Discord and check out the questions for DrMick channel. And ask your question there, because usually when I'm doing the playthroughs, I'm less interactive with chat in that way. But I really do appreciate all of you sticking around through the raids and hanging out. All right, we're going to headcanon it, as much as I hate this. I'm looking for Grey Wardens. You should join us.
Be a Grey Warden? Is that allowed? Can you be both part of the Legion and a Grey Warden?
All right, so I have an opportunity to actually let her know what's up. If you survive the joining, you deserve it. That's a little bit weird, because I think she deserves it beyond just whether she survives the joining. Although I do know that I do realize that the joining shows that there's a bit of strength there. You could be the first is coercive. I really hate that. As much as it seems like that might be something that would inspire her, I absolutely despise that dialogue option. I am not going to sell her on this. That's not... I realize that's your job as the Warden Commander, DrMick. Whatever. Again, I'm reforming the Grey Wardens. I'm not trying to sell her on Grey Wardenship. Right? She is vulnerable right now. She is incredibly vulnerable right now. She's been told her entire life that she's nothing. That she is worth the body count she has before she dies. That's it. She has no worth to Dwarven society. She doesn't matter. She will never amount to anything other than a Darkspawn killing machine. So the idea that I could provide her not just status amongst the dwarves, but status amongst all of Ferelden, given the title of Grey Warden. She is in a vulnerable spot here, and again, is likely to go and do something that is not as thought out as it might otherwise be because of that. If I say you could be the first, that's me being quite coercive here. Right? If I say you'll still fight Darkspawn and die doing so, I mean, I think that fits okay, but I like the idea of saying if you survive the joining, you deserve it. Only because I'm suggesting that she has to survive the joining, which means you're up against potential death. How do you feel about that?
And I'd be more effective at killing the Darkspawn, won't I? Ha! How does one say no to this?
Because you might die.
I will follow you. You seem an all right sort, and I'll be better off with you at my back than alone. Let's go then. The Darkspawn await.
Okay. Sigrun agreed to become a Grey Warden. Speak to Seneschal Varel to begin the joining ritual. Holy hell. I hate going full Duncan here. Hate going full Duncan here. Oh, wow. So there were just broodmothers chilling down there. And we killed it with that big rock thing. Okay. I'm down for that. Is it appropriate to assume that she might not fully process this option? Like you said, the dwarves see her as nothing and the world sees her as nothing, so she might not be able to fully understand what it would be to have the title and status. She can learn that. You can learn that. With the right amount of mentorship and being in the right group, you can learn how to navigate status. That I'm not worried about. What I'm worried about is her making a decision that could lead to her potential death because I'm taking advantage of a vulnerable moment and my relationship to her. That's what I don't want to do. But she could learn how to handle the status of that, no problem. We can teach her that. I mean, I was a city elf from the Alien Age. I didn't have any status either, and I've managed to navigate it just fine. So, you with the right mentorship, totally doable. Well, that's the thing, though, Memo, is we do have ulterior motives, right? Right, if they said that headcanon stuff to me, I would probably be quite suspicious. I would feel like they had ulterior motives. I do. When I say join us, I'm saying join the Grey Wardens. I would much rather she consent to that and say no. The sense that I'm pretending to be non-pressuring, I think is more of a, that would be more of a Sigrun issue, right? Like, I know I'm being genuine, but if Sigrun doesn't want to consent to becoming a Grey Warden or joining, that's fine. She can say no. I think it's incredibly important that she have the opportunity to say no. If she's suspicious of me, I would understand it. She probably should be. She probably should be, because she's never come across a Grey Warden before, as far as I know. And her entire life, again, has been people taking advantage of her. So yeah, if she was suspicious of me and thought I was full of shit, she could push back. She could say, like, I think you're full of shit, and then see how I respond. And if my response is not to her satisfaction, she could say, never mind, I'm going to the Deep Rose. All right, let's, well, actually, before we do that, let's just see kind of where this is all at. Knotwood Hills. An old letter found in Knotwood Hills revealed that a treasure hunter named Darren Lyle found something in the chasm and took it to Amaranthine. Okay, we'll go there. Micah and Colbert's belongings, including what appears to be a lucky charm. I'll bring that to them. The dwarves left the Castless behind when they fled to Cal Hiral. The warrior Dalen, who stayed to defend the Tig, inspired the Castless to fight and recorded their names on a stone tablet. As representatives of Orzammar, Voldrick, and Dworkin would be interested in seeing the tablet. Where were they? Oh, God.
Cal Hiral, lost! The lost is lost! Lost!
Mother, be calm.
Calm, yes. Once I was calm. Once Mother listened to the beautiful call, felt it wash over her and inside her, and she was calm. But now there is no calm. The Father took that away, and now he takes away Cal Hiral.
The Father?
Poor pets in Cal Hiral. The Father knew I would send them against him. The Father feared. Cal Hiral is gone, but the Mother still has her tricks. Many, many tricks.
But what will the mother do?
Do? I will laugh. And then I will wait.
It would be really hilarious if we are just like... It would be really funny if we are just in the middle of a Darkspawn divorce. That would be really funny. Like, this whole thing is just a triangulation and Darkspawn divorce. Wait, there's a... Did we read this note? Yeah, we had to have. Yeah. Holy cow. They definitely seem to be pitting the kids against each other. They do. That they do. Alright, I guess we go back to Amaranthine. Well, yeah, let's go to Amaranthine before we go to Vigil's Keep. Holy crap. Those of you that have stayed through the raids, thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it immensely. Widgie and Quinstock, I hope you guys had great streams. Hey, what's up, dude?
I knew you'd make it back here. Have you sold that thing I gave you? It's not much, but I hope you get a good price for it.
You sure you're not infected with Darkspawn?
No. I feel fine. You don't think maybe I should just go.
I wouldn't call that a satisfactory answer, although I don't know that I would expect him to know what it feels like to be turning, but that didn't feel great.
You're back, eh? What's it like out there? Darkspawn crawling all over?
It's just a real joy. It's like I went to Six Flags every day that I was down there. I found this trinket. It's yours, dude.
Thank the Maker. Mick has been afraid to move from this spot since he lost the stupid thing.
Sorry, couldn't go without Lucky Deerfoot. Thanks for finding it.
And now we're getting away before the Darkspawn arrive. Good luck to you.
Generally, it's harmless to have trinkets like that. I'm not really here to gatekeep that and be weird about it. But you do have to be careful sometimes when you load ability into symbolic like objects. So this guy is paralyzed because he has a sense that because he doesn't have his lucky Deerfoot, he can't do anything. And that is a fallacy. He absolutely could go all about Ferelden without it. It's okay to have objects that bring you comfort. It is. But when you start to overload ability into objects and you start to associate your own autonomy, your own skills, your own abilities, your own possibilities with an external object, you are misplacing accountability in a way that actually could be to your detriment, because you start to associate success with the item instead of with your hard work and with your behavioral choices. You got to be really careful with that. That dude being fully immobilized because he didn't have his lucky charm could be very unhealthy. Arguably is very unhealthy. So it's okay to take comfort in items and to enjoy the fact that they exist and are there for you, but also be careful not to download too much into it and to where you start to misplace your associations with that item. Because it's not that he couldn't do anything without the foot. It's that he was choosing not to do something because he associated that ability with the charm itself. I forget where Voldrick and Dworkin are. Oh, they're at Vigil's Keep, I think. Maybe. Let's go up to the Chantry. Is this similar to why parents are told to wean their kids away from having a blankie or plushie that they carry with them everywhere? It depends. It can be. Because sometimes when you have an object like that and you don't really learn how to self-soothe, you learn that you have to have that item available, and and then if that item's not always available, that can really cause some issues. Did we? Ooh. These records indicate that Darren Lyle moved to a small house. Wait. Lived in a small house outside the city until his death. His treasure may remain there. Oh, we already knew that.
Aura, please do not be alarmed. I do not wish
No!
to frighten you.
You are the... in my husband's body.
I am a spirit of justice. I meant your husband no harm. I would ease your distress had I the power.
I knew when he left that this could happen. He told me. His father died a Grey Warden too.
Tell me, is there anything I can do for you? Tell me, and I will do it.
Avenge him, spirit. I will wait for his ashes a little longer, if it means that whoever did this to him will pay.
The Darkspawn. Yes, I understand. And she is gone. Did I do the right thing?
Okay. Well, if that was gonna happen, that's how I would like it to happen. We stumbled across her. We didn't actively seek her out. It's different, right? Like, we happened to be in the same building. We ran into each other, and she didn't say, I told you to stay away from me. She was open to a conversation. So I actually feel okay about this. What I didn't like about the idea of that quest was chasing after her. But we inadvertently ran into her in Amaranthine. That's bound to happen. She handled it okay. I can only imagine how trippy that is. But when she says that she had some expectation that that could happen, it's kind of a big deal because it means that it's a little bit easier for her to assimilate into what is happening here. The part that I'm more interested in here is Justice. Is Justice saying, did I do the right thing? It's fascinating because it means that the spirit of Justice does not have a fully fleshed out idea of right and wrong. It's a reminder that even if your prime directive and identity is built around justice, justice is not as black and white as we like to think that it is. So he is having a hard time evaluating the ramifications of certain decisions he makes in the name of justice, because the whole reason that he wanted to make things right with her is out of a sense of justice, right? That he had harmed her and he needed to make it right. So when he says, did I do the right thing? It means that there is wiggle room for consideration that justice is not necessarily a one-to-one deal. And that he, in some ways, is finding a sense of personal autonomy within that. Of like, okay, so I'm this spirit that is guided by this construct, but that construct may be inherently more complex and nuanced than what it would seem. We all want justice to be one for one. We all like, not all of us, but I think a lot of people like the idea of eye for an eye because it makes sense and it's easy and it's one to one. And okay, yeah, sure, that's even. But justice is not necessarily about fairness. It's not about egalitarianism. It's about to what extent is something balanced when you can't have a one-to-one. The person who is in charge of determining whether justice did the right thing here is Aura. It's not me. I'm not the arbiter of truth here. She's the one that would determine whether what he did was right. I don't know that there even is a right thing here. This is such a wild circumstance that I don't even know that I want to make that judgment. And I also don't know that I want to be the person that reassures justice in this time of uncertainty. I want him to sit with that. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know that there is a right thing here. And it seems like we're going to have to start leaning into some gray areas on this. And this is a good exercise in that. I don't think there is a right thing here, man.
That is wise. She loved this man a great deal, and he loved her. I envy what they had. I must think on this more. But another time. Thank you for bringing me here.
Justice visited Aura again later, promising to avenge her husband's death. The pact gave both a measure of peace. Justice has spoken to Aura, Kristoff's wife, and pledged to avenge Kristoff's death by fighting the Darkspawn, which is what we're doing, so that's cool. And if she feels better about that, I'm down. That works for me. I was not anticipating that we were going to run into her here, so... Oh, okay. So we have a small city, lived in a small house outside the city until his death. All right, so let's go find that then, I guess. I'm going to use this walk to just say to all of you who are watching this on YouTube, or those of you that are here live with me on Twitch, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this playthrough. It really does mean a lot to me that you are willing to spend time hanging out here and listening to what I have to say about these games. I hope it's meaningful in some way. As I always say, I don't claim to be right. It's just my perspective on things, and it seems that a lot of people like to hear that perspective, and I think that's pretty cool. So thanks a lot for your support of my content. It's very cool of you. Now, which house do we go into? Ooh, what is this? Hacked Earth. Ring of Subtlety. You found Darren Lyle's treasure hidden near his house. Oh, alright. That was easy enough. Memories of the Stones. So that's going to be at Vigil's Keep, it seems. Look at all of this. Main plot, the awakening. The architect of sapient darkspawn is at war with someone called the Mother. The Grey Wardens are somehow caught in the middle. Now reports indicate a large darkspawn army is on the move. Speak to Veril about the situation. Be cool if he started acting more like Kristoff. That would be really interesting. You really would have like a Johnny V situation there. Also odd that he can remember, like he feels like the love that Kristoff had for his wife. You know, and then he said, but then he says, I envy what they had, which means he still is attentive to his autonomy amidst that, which is just, it's so interesting to me. Right? He is still autonomous enough to be able to evaluate that. All right. All right, let's give this stuff to Dworkin.
Oh, you're back to visit old Dworkin?
I found this tablet at Cal Hiral. Can you look at it?
Aye, Commander. Aldrich, come over here. Well, I'll be.
We need to send this home, brother. Orzammar must know how the castless of Cal Hiral acquitted themselves in their final hours.
Castless bearing arms. Oh, that'll go over well.
Those castless are heroes. It must be recorded by the Shaperate. Thank you, Commander. We'll see this is delivered into the right hands.
Cool. Thank you. That's how we change. That's how we get better representation. Diversify it, baby.
Oh, you're back to visit old Dworkin? Splendid. Truly splendid. We've enough lyrium sand to keep us busy for a long time. Thanks for your help. Please, take these. Use them to give those beasties a what for.
Okay. I mostly just sell them, but thank you, man. Okay.
You're back. You need anything?
Found an ore deposit.
Oh, this will help a great deal. This is iron. Very high quality. Amaranthine abounds with mineral wealth. Master Wade has more than he needs to equip all of your men suitably.
Thank you so much for finding all this dreary metal. Haran, you must be happy.
Ecstatic. Now, no more time to waste.
All right, we got enough metal. I like that. All right, Wade.
Yes, Commander?
I found this golem shell in Cal Hiral. How you feel about it, bud?
Oh, I simply must do something with this. So unique, so rare. Yes, a breastplate. Here, take this. These are a few knickknacks I need to begin my work. Find them soon. I simply cannot wait.
What a day! First, I'll need some wool padding. Working with golem shells can be a chuff, don't you know? Second, delirium potion made by a master to ensure the soul that once inhabited his armor is washed away for good. You wouldn't want that golem coming back, would you? Also, some pure iron. Pure, mind you. No imperfections at all. And a packet of ground blood lotus. Maybe some soup. No, no. Wool padding, master lyrium potion, pure iron, and blood lotus. Okay. I don't really want to do those fetch quests, if I'm being honest. I'm not into. Alright, let's go to Vigil's Keep.
Am I correct in hearing that you are dead, Dwarf?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
The body I inhabit is dead as well.
I don't think that's quite the same thing, my friend.
Oh, but come on, what a perfect opportunity to get to know each other better. Why we gotta stop it there? Boo, as Wade would say. Boo. Up we go. Oh gosh. All right, we got more nobility drama. But first, I get my gold.
You need anything, Commander?
Yeah, dude. Show me those deep pockets, brothers. Brother. Those deep, deep pockets. So much stuff. All right. Good stuff. 473 gold. I am packing, baby. Packing.
I don't think we should dally here.
Man, it's such a bummer that you like go to talk to these guys and they don't have anything.
The Darkspawn await retribution.
Okay, we have a golem in here, and I hold a control rod.
Wow. I've never seen so many books in my life.
It's just kindling when winter comes. Oh my god. Jesus. Oh god. You know, moments like these can actually be pretty interesting because this is really, truly a clash of lived experience and the differences that people have. It makes you realize that some of the things that you take for granted in your own life, or that you maybe even don't pay attention to or think are pretty lame, can be super meaningful to other people. Like, we look at these books and we walk past them and we think, oh god, so much reading, it takes so much time. Sigrun, who never had access to books, which means she never had access to information, who knows if she can even read, looks at these and goes, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Dismissing that doesn't really do well towards facilitating connection with her. We could be excited with her on that. We could get into her context on this and be like, yeah, pretty cool. And you're welcome to read them. It's not hard to do that. Instead of saying like, they're just books, whatever. Because this is something that she sees as awesome, and when you do that, you dismiss it. You dismiss her, and you dismiss her for reasons that she may not even understand or have a frame of reference for, so she's more likely to personalize it as dismissing her. There's just really no reason to do that. They're all at your disposal.
This one's a Navaran romance. Pretty spicy, too, from the looks of it.
Oh, yeah.
What's an Antivan milk sandwich? Oh, I see. I'll just put that back. I've only read one book. My friend Varlin taught me while we were in the Legion. He only had the one. He's dead now.
Oh, man. Tell me about him.
He was a noble, once. From House Volney. I don't know why he ended up in the Legion. He wouldn't say. I saw death take my friends, knowing it would take him as well. I fought hard to keep us both alive. Varlin embraced the Legion's philosophy. That we were already dead. I couldn't let go like that.
That's why you're the last of the Legion.
Survival. That's what matters. That's what Dusttown taught me. If I'm gonna get through all these books before the Darkspawn find me, I need to get started.
That's cool. I like that. It's interesting, right? She took a vow knowing that she was going to die, and her survival instinct kicked in. And because I value that as a person who values survival and doesn't come from that culture, it's easy for me to like kind of elevate her in that.
When do we get going? Darkspawn don't kill themselves, you know.
I thought you had books you wanted to read. Okay, let's go figure this out. Man, she's got all these books she wants to read, and she's about to drink from the cup of death.
Commander, many of the lords have gathered. The Darkspawn
Again.
have fielded armies, and the nobles want to know how you will protect them. Shall I assemble them, or do you need more time to strategize?
There's some things I want to take care of first. Wait a minute. Maybe I have to do this part first?
Commander, many of the... Shall I assemble them, or do you need more
Alright,
time?
assemble.
I will send messengers at once.
We've waited enough. Those who are late will just have to be filled in.
Lord Edelbreck, this is the commander of the Greys Council, not yours.
I'm fearful for the villagers on the plains. There's a Darkspawn army in the field, and with the soldiers returning to the vigil.
The enemy is out of hiding. We must find them and strike. Pull yourself together. In war, there are casualties. Jeez. We can't give in to despair. I need more information. Yes, there's an army in the field, but like, do we have the resources to? I gotta know. I need to know more. But there could be any reason why why that army is there. I also don't want them to just completely raze our farms. We'll try to find them, I guess.
This is no...
Commander! Commander!
What is it, girl?
A Darkspawn army is within sight of Amaranthine.
Maker, protect us. They're attacking the city?
Amaranthine has been undermanned for weeks. She may not last long.
Our forces cannot move quickly enough, but a small band might make it in time.
But that's suicide.
We must try.
That'd be me then, huh? Never dull here. The implication. I love that. I can do that, but who's going to defend the vigil?
Fighting a horde of Darkspawn with almost certain death awaiting? Don't even think of leaving me here, Captain.
Who do you want to take with you, Commander?
Oh, wow. I'm inclined to say Nathaniel because he can summon the bear. And there's 3 of us. And it is an opportunity for him to redeem his family. I like the idea of Sigrun coming with us because Sigrun is a badass and knows how to fight Darkspawn for sure. Justice, I don't know if I don't think Justice is in the running here. I think it's between Sigrun and Nathaniel. Nathaniel is a strategic choice because of the fact that we have the bear. Sigrun's a strategic choice because she has fought Darkspawn a lot. I'm gonna take Nathaniel, I think. Where am I? Oh man, this is so hard. This is so hard. Because on the other hand, like, Sigrun coming with me does make sense. The one thing that I am slightly afraid of is that Sigrun... I don't know. This feels unfair to Sigrun. Sigrun has conceptualized that at some point she needs to die. And I get that she's been operating off of a survival instinct for quite some time, so I'm all for that. And, like, she wants to kill Darkspawn. Yeah, no, that's unfair to her to go down that path. I need Nathaniel's skill set right now. Sigrun will get you on the battlefield eventually, but I need Nathaniel.
Whatever.
Who else will you bring?
Oh. Shit. Sigrun, I guess.
I'm already dead. I've nothing to lose.
Who else will you bring?
Just let me pick the... Oh, come on. I'm sitting here laboring over this, and I just get my party. Justice.
As it should be. Our foes will pay heavily for their transgressions, this I swear.
And so it is decided. The rest of us will stay here. Make her protect you and hold you close, Commander.
You can take 3 people with you. Might as well be the 3 you came in with, huh? I guess, yeah, I don't have anybody to defend the keep. And that's what I get for not having some of the party members that are available to us. So we'll see what happens. So I guess we just headcanon that Sigrun became a Grey Warden? Alright. Let's make it happen. Oh, we're like literally at the gates of Amaranthine. Holy shit.
Please, Grey Warden, save my family. My family's in the city.
Please calm yourselves while I speak to the Warden Commander.
Stop telling people to be calm!
Warden Commander. I am glad you arrived when you did, but I fear there is little that can be done now.
Why? What's up?
A couple of nights ago, a swarm of gruesome creatures emerged from beneath the city. They spread pestilence and destroyed everything they touched. Then at dawn, the other Darkspawn attacked. Warden Commander, it's too late. Amaranthine is lost.
Those new beasts are actually called children, or I would appreciate it if you used the right nomenclature. Snap out of it, dude. People still live.
The buildings might remain, but there will be few survivors so long after those creatures appeared. Their corruption is so virulent. At least a quarter of the city succumbed within the first day.
Constable, there is a darkspawn approaching. Alone.
Archers, take him down!
Peace. Do not be killing. Only talk. Architect has a message for Grey Warden.
Stand down, Constable.
As you wish, Commander.
The Mother's army. It marches to Vigil's Keep. She attacks now. The Architect, he sends me to warn you. You must save the Keep, then finish the Mother in her lair.
Holy triangulation, Batman. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. This whole time, we've just been pawns in the Great Divorce. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna need a little more, dude. How am I supposed to trust you?
This is truth. If you do not go now, all is lost. The Mother wins. If I lie, then kill me.
If we leave now, we may be able to make it back to the Vigil in time to save it.
And what about the Darkspawn here?
Soon, they will go to Vigil's Keep as well. The Mother, she wants the Keep destroyed utterly.
The Darkspawn has a point. We cannot leave with this other army hot on our heels. The Constable says the city is lost. I say we destroy it, burn it, and all the Darkspawn within.
I would not. Oh boy. Okay. I'm less worried about the whole, like, destroy the city thing, and more about, like, we don't have any evidence that we have stuff going to Vigil's Keep other than one Darkspawn saying, trust me or you can kill me. Right? Like, oh, if you guys get to Vigil's Keep and there's no Darkspawn there, go ahead and slit my throat. Right? Because then we lost Amaranthine. I don't know whether this Darkspawn's telling the truth. Also, remember that the cutscenes that we've seen about the Mother and stuff, like, aren't actually things that my character has actually bared witness to. It drives the story forward. It helps us have context for what's going on. But I don't know these things. I think this is the first time hearing news of this kind of thing. And while I appreciate that this Darkspawn is telling me that this is happening, what happens if I go over to Vigil's Keep? We burn down Amaranthine on behalf of the Darkspawn. They shove all their forces over there. Like, we're gonna have to hope that Vigil's Keep holds. Like, Amaranthine's a huge city, and what I know is that right now they need our help. I don't know that Vigil's Keep is actually under attack. We haven't gotten word from one of our people. And I don't know that I can trust this Darkspawn. That's wild to me. The Constable said... Now, the only thing is the Constable says that the city is lost. Man, oh man, oh man. And he would know better than I would. I mean, it could be an absolute waste of time. If I go into Amaranthine and I do this fight, and then everybody's dead anyway, and then we didn't have enough time to go to Vigil's Keep and we lose both locations, that's bad too. Right? Like, to an extent, we did show up here, and he did say... This thing's cooked before the talking Darkspawn even came up and said anything to us. And then I was like, no, let's go get it. Let's go get Amaranthine. There's still people in there. And maybe we saved some people. But if he called it lost and now we have a Darkspawn literally... Oh, my God, dude. This is crazy. Trying to make this decision is a shitty decision either way. Vigil's Keep is loaded with nobility. Amaranthine is a bit more of like the common folk. I know Vigil's Keep is a strategic point, so is Amaranthine. We have one Darkspawn telling us that they're moving. I have no idea whether I can trust the intentions because every Darkspawn I've come across has tried to kill me. I'm not giving up on Amaranthine.
Warden Commander, we have already lost Amaranthine. We can't lose the Vigil as well.
Oh, man. It's a tough building. It can stand on its own for now. I have faith in the fortress I've built. Very well. We'll burn the city and return to the keep. No, there may be people in the city, and I won't abandon them. I was not able to give that dwarf the resources he needed to fully reinforce the city. And I did send the armies out into the fields. So it is open. There is... I don't even know that we can make it back in time. And I know we have a city in front of us that needs our help. This was the point of me going. We have people standing by Vigil's Keep. I mean, what kind of message does that send if I completely raise this entire city to go back to Vigil's Keep where it's just stocked with a bunch of nobility? I just feel like that sends the wrong message. It's a tough building. It can stand on its own for now.
Commander, we can't save Amaranthine if it's already lost. We can still save the Vigil.
I stand with the commander. We must try to save Amaranthine. That's what Grey Wardens do. We protect people.
I don't want to see fire ravage these streets, but it may be our only chance.
I love, just aside, I love that BioWare really makes you lock in your decision. Like, they really challenge you with your commitment to what it is that you've decided you want to do. I think it's one of the cool things that BioWare does that so many other games do a terrible job of. They have like 5 checks of, are you sure? You sure that's what you want to do? Think through it. Like, I really love that. Sigrun's not wrong. That is what we sign up to do. And again, the message that it sends, if we just go back and just say, all right, fine, fuck it, burn the city down, let's go save the nobles. I just don't think that sends a good message. I really don't. If we want people to have to favor the Darkspawn, or to favor the Grey Wardens, I think we do have to fight for people. I think we do have to, we have people at Vigil's Keep. It's not like Vigil's Keep is completely exposed. We're talking about 4 of us versus an army of people that are at the keep. If there's a chance that we can save somebody in there and that we can salvage Amaranthine and still get back to Vigil's Keep and expect that, and we trust that our soldiers can hold them off long enough, maybe we save both places. But I don't want to do the Darkspawn's work for them by burning the city down. Like, what if there's a chance we could save somebody? Anybody?
It would take a miracle. I will follow your lead, Commander.
No, no. If you stay, the mother will get what she wants.
Fight with us and I'll show you mercy, big guy.
I will go. I will do as the Grey Warden bids.
Amaranthine, then. The Darkspawn are never disorganized on their own. Something must be leading them. If we eliminate the Darkspawn leadership, we can go about finding survivors.
Good luck to you. And make her watch over us all.
Alright. Captain Garrow believes the Darkspawn in the city may disperse if their commanders are eliminated. Search the city for Darkspawn generals while rescuing any survivors you find along the way. We're already here, man. We leave here and we go to Vigil's Keep and it's already gone. That sucks. Disciple Messenger, come with me, big guy. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, you guys. All right, let's check the outside of the city first. Let's just make sure that everything's Gucci out here. Which it looks like it is. So in we go. Here's hoping this ends up being the right choice. I don't think there is one. Damn, this city guard is a badass. Look at you guys.
Like the Maker.
Tyler can't transform further, developing spindly limbs topped with spikes that skewer. Oh god, so this is like early adult Darkspawn. Sir, you can go. Yeah, right? Like, there's plenty of people still alive. We were just gonna burn this city down.
As you wish.
Good lord. Freaking humans, man. Just so quick and rash in their decision making. Wow. Okay. Who did that? Hell yeah. Let's go. Hey, Nathaniel, summon the bear, brother. I mean, they're making this easy for us to go quickly. We got so many guards. Oh god, we got an ogre. I will say that I appreciate that that Darkspawn was willing to fight with us. Okay. Does the bear have a name? Just bear. Just summon the bear. Yeah, I'll name him Shale in Shale's honor. get you guys leveled.
Warden Commander, we've received word of another wave of Darkspawn approaching the city. They will be here within a day.
What do you suggest then?
Most of the survivors are taking refuge in the Chantry. The militia has set up a base of operations there. You can rest and resupply there. In the meantime, my men and I will search for more survivors.
Okay. Meanwhile, at Vigil's Keep? Oh no, okay.
Warden Commander, come quickly. The Darkspawn are still breaking through.
Breaking through where?
The inn. They're coming from the inn somehow.
Alright, you stay here then. Oh, they must have taken rooms there. Jesus.
May God bless you, Warden Commander.
This is time for jokes. Alright, let's rob the Chantry first.
Why don't the guards do anything about these smugglers?
Smuggler? What? Sir.
Remember that you are an example to your lessers. Listen to the chant of light every week.
Wow, nothing really warms you up, huh? Jesus.
Your wish is my command.
Good lord. Remember to be example to your lessers while the city is being actively attacked. Your lessers probably deserve it. Maker has a plan. Oh, we got a weaponsmith guy going on here. Thank you, sir. Thank you for selling stuff at this time. Much appreciated. Let's get out of here. Here we go. Come on. You know, these arrows. Holy crap. You still with me, Mr. Darkspawn guy? Oh, he's not. Okay. I would say, I guess bringing a talking Darkspawn in the Chantry would be pretty intense. Oh, yeah. What happened to Nathaniel was right. Nathaniel! Shit. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and get him. Oh, I'll bet this grub got him. I'll bet this little grub guy that's running over here got him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's go get Nathaniel. Yeah, I didn't even realize that he died. Burlock sniper. Sorry, bud. Let's go. I do want to check out just the other area there, just to make sure that we've cleared everything out here before we go into the inn, where they're taking up rooms. Okay. In we go. A lot of loading. Oh no. Okay. Disciples General. Get back here. Get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off! Enduring faith. It's actually not too bad of a belt. I actually wonder if that's better than what I'm currently wearing. No, it's not. Make sure we snag those private documents. Oh, no, you're good, Pizza. I thought the same thing. I saw it and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, you're good. All right, back out here. Shit. Good shit. Flemeth's broomstick. What? We have to take it just because of that. What's Flemeth's broomstick doing here? Oh, hi. Hi there. Hey. Man, we got shrieks in here. Oh, they're bringing the whole kitchen sink. gosh. All right, I've had just about enough of that shit.
Come on, lives are at stake.
All right, that's 2 generals down. I'm guessing there's probably going to be 3. All right, one more. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, jeez. An armored ogre. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Oh god. Ooh. Oh. Ah. Okay. Oh. I just had a nice big serving of pain. Oh boy. Drink up. Okay, well. Keep hitting him. Keep hitting him. This is your time. Nathaniel, why hast thou not summoned the bear? There we go. Hell yeah. Oh boy. She just took a huge shot. Yeah, I did that. That's me.
Commander, the Darkspawn are retreating.
Good. Let's hope they don't come back.
I don't think we've seen the last. Whoever or whatever she is, the mother is behind this. And she still lives. The Architect's messenger has given us directions to the mother's lair. We must pursue
her. What about the Architect?
The messenger said the Architect also planned to kill the mother.
What's going on with the K's here?
I do not know what to make of that.
Alright. Well, then let's take the fight there. I'll set out soon.
Commander, what should we do with the messenger?
Let him go.
It shall be as you say. Make her watch over you, Commander.
He helped us out. He held up on his end of the bargain. I'll show him some mercy. Darkspawn scavenged their armor from the deep roads, from lost ties, and from battlefields where vast armies once clashed. Typically, only Hurlocks, Shrieks, and Genlocks wear any such protection, ogres being far too large for conventional armor. But occasionally, the Legion encounters ogres wearing crude patchworks of breastplates and shields tethered together, or threaded together, with rope and wire. While better than nothing, there are many vulnerable gaps in the assemblage. Thank the ancestors that the Darkspawn and their ghouls make such lousy craftsmen. Anders died when the Darkspawn sacked Vigil's Keep a second time. I guess Anders was there. Ogren cannot hold off a hangover, let alone an entire army. He died when the Darkspawn sacked Vigil's Keep again. Seneschal Varro was killed when the second Darkspawn assault on Vigil's Keep. Oh god. Valana likely perished in the second Darkspawn assault on Vigil's Keep. Interesting that those people came back. I mean, we sent them away, but... that's weird. You've encountered the location of the Mother's Lair. It's time to put an end to her mad schemes. Okay.
Praise the Maker.
My assumption is that BioWare thought that everybody was going to take every companion. That's how it reads. It's like, I don't think BioWare expected that people were going to send people away. Wow, Seeker's Chain. That thing's legit.
You... saved us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, there's an enchanter here. Why not? Bear, how you doing? I love how everybody's like just totally fine with a big giant bear hanging out here. All right, let's get out of here. To the lair of the mother. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Good. All right, it's not over. Because why not have more combat? Using my fire sword like a badass. Don't ever let somebody tell you that old Dr. Mick didn't enchant his weapons during his Dragon Age playthrough. God, we've been to this farm so many times. Get out of here. Wow. No crash there, huh? The Dragonbone Wastes. Okay. Down we go.
Living under all that rock.
I don't understand. We just do.
Orzammar is under a mountain. Just thinking about the crushing weight of a mountain overhead makes me shudder.
Surfacers live in buildings. If a building falls on you, it will make you just as dead.
Thanks for the reminder.
Good point. Good point. All right. Guys, you gonna help out? We came down here to fight. Nathaniel, summon the bear. go. Let's keep it moving. Pile of stone. Oh, good. Okay. Guys, can we please, like, fight these things? What are we doing? Bear. Oh, boy. Oh, good. Okay, good. Armored ogre again. Love that. It's like Grand Theft Auto. You hop in a Banshee, and now every car's a Banshee. You fight one armored ogre, and now all of them are armored. Oh, shit. Alright, well, Sigrun's gone. I'm getting my nuts punched. This sucks. Bear, help out Sigrun, please. Wowzers. That was a lot. It's making my game chug. This is, oof. Game is chugging. What is this? Oh, a note. Drake's Fall. Legends speak of a place where dragons go to die. In the far south, in the lands of the barbarian tribes, it is said that a dragon at the end of her days lies down and allows the bitter cold to take her. It's not just a legend. I've seen Drake's Fall with my own eyes, the ancient bones of these grand beasts piled atop one another. I felt the power that suffused this place and knew the Imperium would claim it. We built a city on the bones. We delved deep into the earth, collecting what remained of the primordial dragons who were so like our old gods. With these bones, we created staves for our magisters, armor for our warriors, and crowns for our archons. We fashioned phylacteries to hold our blood and sarcophagi to hold our bodies, and prayed they would make us immortal, from the writings of Archon Malos. Amen, Pizza Genie. Amen. Your boy's ready. Let me tell you. This is a cool-ass place. Alright. More combat. Okay. Hi. Hello. Oh. Goodness. Yeah, you know, didn't see you there. Oh. Real enemies, the frame rate. God damn. Wow, you can't, there's not even any loot on the dragon. Holy shit. Alright, let's get out of here. Drake's Fall. Frame rate's back. More Darkspawn. Oh man, it's like when the hound fights the mountain on the staircase. Like I'm waiting for a dragon to go whoosh. Keep it moving. I will not let you resurrect. I'm good at armor and ogre chilling over there. Good, love it. So excited. Yep, punch me. Punch me. Yeah. Yeah, come on, do it again. Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. Give me another one. Yeah, do it again. Do it one more time. Yeah, let's go. You ain't nothing. Nothing. Look at that. You can't even knock me over. Loser. Do better. Okay. Now that I have sufficiently talked shit. Wait, what is this? Another... Are you serious? You're really gonna throw me a puzzle right now? You're really gonna do this to me? Looks as though something is meant to fit in this socket. Wait a minute, what? Oh, it's not a puzzle. Come on. Do something. Do something. The architect, now an ally, can summon a powerful inferno and scorch a targeted area. Oh, cool. So we can use the power of the architect against these people? Loot this, please. Alright, I mean, those crystals obviously do something. There's more to... whatever. Just go down further, and we socket more stuff, I guess. Oh, what's up?
And so we meet again. No, Uther. That is not how this must begin. I owe you an apology, Commander. When last we met, I intended to explain myself. Fate, however, intervened.
Alright, well then explain yourself now.
I restrained you, only to prevent the misunderstanding that occurred with the rest of your order.
Be careful, Warden. This creature will attempt to trick you.
I sent the Wizards to ask for the Grey Warden's help. I should have anticipated that you might view our approach as an attack. I am rarely able to judge how your kind will react It was most unfortunate.
Okay. You have a hard time judging how we'll react, yet you have a pretty good tact in terms of making sure that you're empathizing with my position, which makes me quite skeptical of you, sir. You took those men and bled them dry.
The Grey Wardens that were brought to me were already dead. I took their blood just as I took yours, because I had little choice. Things have not gone as I planned. I only ask that you hear me out. Should you still wish to slay me afterwards, you may try.
I am curious, but I am going to be skeptical of literally everything you say.
My kind has ever been driven to seek out the old gods. This is our nature. When we find one, a blight is begun. Each time we attack your surface lands and you fight back until we are defeated. To break the cycle, my brethren must be freed of their compulsion. For that, I need Grey Warden blood.
I'm not even going to try to guess why that would be the case. It sounds very similar to what we do. But we taint... I wonder if it's so they could send their own to kill an archdemon. Why do you need Warden's blood?
In order to become what you are, you drink the blood of my kind. To transform. Similarly, we must transform. I have created a version of your joining that uses the blood of Grey Wardens. You take the taint into yourself. What we take is your resistance. That is how my brethren are freed. In your blood lies the key to their immunity against the call of the old gods.
So that's how we're getting talking Darkspawn. Is because they basically do the same kind of thing that we do. That's really interesting. How do the Darkspawn change afterwards?
Once they are freed, the Darkspawn think for themselves. They speak, they act. Some, however, have reacted poorly. They are flawed and they rage against me. The Mother gathers them to stop me, as she seeks to stop you. I cannot defeat the Mother alone, and I cannot free the Darkspawn unless she is defeated. Our goals are the same.
Kill this creature now, lest it makes things worse than they already are. Do what is right, and do not waver.
This reeks of stupid. The last thing we need is more Darkspawn thinking for themselves.
Darkspawn or no, he has a good point. Do we really want to keep killing each other forever?
Help me kill the Mother, and after it is done, I will leave to continue my work.
You know, I quite love that this entire thing holds Grey Wardens to absolute hypocrisy if we get shitty with him about this. Because if I say stealing blood from Wardens is perverse, it's no different than what we do. We take Darkspawn blood. We slay Darkspawn, we take their blood and we drink it. And then that way we can go fight them more. So, like, we're not really any better. Granted, are we defending ourselves? Yes. But it does stand out to me that for millennia at this point, I think, at least centuries, the Darkspawn continue to come out and fight knowing that they're going to lose every single time. Which would lead me to at least entertain the idea that them coming out is an act of compulsion in the same way that a moth flies toward a light. I can get down with that explanation. Makes sense to me. It's certainly better than any Codex has given me about the Darkspawn. Now that said, I would like a little bit more information. First of all, yes, I would love to know where you came from. How did you get freed? Who are you? Because this had to start somewhere.
I was born as I am, an outsider amongst my kind. Why? I do not know. Why do some of your kind become Grey Wardens? Why do some possess magic? I have no answers.
Fair. Right. This is what I love about this is that we have had a immensely myopic view of the Darkspawn through all of Dragon Age Origins and through all of Awakening. And what this does, again, I don't know if what this guy's saying is true, but what this does is it introduces to us the idea that the Darkspawn are more than they have been represented to us to be. That perhaps they are not too much different from what we are. That perhaps the Darkspawn, as we know them, are just a moment in the evolutionary timeline of what the Darkspawn are capable of being as it relates to their species, so to speak. In the way that humans were more barbaric back before we gained a prefrontal cortex. So what we're seeing is the development of a species here. And maybe this guy jumped a step, because whatever kind of Darkspawn evolution exists, he got all the traits. I have no idea. But it's fascinating. Because we, for so long, have thought that they're just grubs. That they're no different than spiders that you might step on inside of your house. And yet, now he's talking about the possibility of sentience. By doing the very same thing that we do to them. Now, could that be potentially a massive disadvantage to us if he gets a whole bunch of sentient Darkspawn and is like, all right, now let's go mess him up because our army can think for itself instead of acting on compulsion? Certainly, right? Like, now we're talking about, instead of having TIE fighters, we've got Star Destroyers. We have a fleet of Star Destroyers instead of a fleet of TIE fighters. That's terrifying, right? But that's... And I think that's what makes the political and survival implications of this so fascinating. Is we are hinged on a what if. The known quantity right now is that so long as we keep the Darkspawn underground fighting the dwarves, we're cool. If they become sentient, and like, what does that mean? Does it mean that they all of a sudden are like, okay, cool, we'll be neat, we'll coexist? Does it mean that they're going to get really tired of where they're at and they're going to want to come up to the surface and they're going to want to take over some of our land? When he says that he can't control how they come out, he can't control their personality, he can't actually, like, they're not golems, he can't dictate their behaviors once they become autonomous, that's going to lead to infighting and wars that have ramifications on us, in the same way that our wars have ramifications on them. Like, I mean, this adds a really, really, really interesting layer. What is the mother?
My most flawed creation.
Oh.
Freedom drove her mad, and she has poisoned the minds of the others. She has influence with the ones who have not been freed, and she gathers them as an army. I do not seek to rule, my brethren. I only seek to release them from their chains.
I just want to see what his response to this is. I don't know that I believe this statement, but his response is going to be interesting. Perhaps other Darkspawn don't want to be free.
And how would they know when the choice has been deprived of them? Without choice, There is only one path before them, and that leads to the Blight. I believe there is another way.
I have to say that the Darkspawn that showed up at Amaranthine to warn us suggests to me that what he is saying is indeed possible. That Darkspawn, now that we know is acting autonomously, I mean, he had some level of directive, but he came to us and warned us and fought alongside us and was peaceful. That does show that there's possibility here. Whether we like it or not, we are coexisting with the Darkspawn. Regardless, we're coexisting with the Darkspawn. If they are all just chained to this like he's describing, we are coexisting with Darkspawn if they all become autonomous. And I don't know that I want to let my fear of what if dictate me playing God here. I get that he's kind of doing that, but he is trying to give some level of alternative to what we have seen happen as a pattern over and over and over and over and over again. And to an extent, I respect that. I don't know if he's pulling my leg. He could be completely full of shit. We could go down to fight the mother, and then he stabs us in the back. I have no idea. And I think maybe he can respect that. I don't know that I can fully trust him. But I have not yet heard anybody suggest an alternative to the Darkspawn other than us just slaying the dragons every time they show up. And I do know that us fighting with the Darkspawn has been a nightmare ever since this started. I don't know that I like calling myself an ally, but I am intrigued by this, and I do like the idea of this going a different way. That said, I would be interested to hear what the mother has to say, right? Because again, remember, even though we've seen the cutscenes, I have not specifically come across the mother yet. I don't know what she is. So all I know is what he has provided to me. Now, what is scary about that, I suppose, is that he's saying that the mother was freed. And then that went to her head and she decided to go full dictator. That's kind of scary. I appreciate his honesty, though. He could have said that the mother is not free. But he did say there's a flaw in this. The mother's free, and that's created some problems. I do respect that. I do. All right, I'll work with you.
No! No! This is a monster! I can't let you do this!
Don't you want to stop the blights once and for all? Well, so here's what's... Oh, man. Okay, so here's what's super fascinating about Sigrun's reaction here. It actually makes sense to me in a way that I don't think she would be consciously aware of. Sigrun's entire identity is built around the Darkspawn. It is quite... Fighting Darkspawn is quite literally the only purpose that she has as it relates to Dwarven society. So if there are no Darkspawn, then what does that mean for the Legion of the Dead? That would be my question if I was her. What does that mean for me? What does that mean for the Legion? What does that mean for the entire identity and utility that I have built my life around? She has cast a universal blanket that Darkspawn must be slain because that is what her purpose is. And so when I say I'm going to work with a Darkspawn, that I could absolutely see as being super threatening to her. But this is an opportunity for me to say to her, look, I get that. I could empathize with that. It makes sense. I want the blights to end. And this is an alternative that doesn't have dwarves fighting in droves while people on the surface do fine. And your people screwed. We have you as a Grey Warden commander. What would it mean to you as a Legion of the Dead member to actually stop the blight instead of individual Darkspawn? That's huge. That's Paragon territory at this point, if she's with me when that happens, right? So let's consider that we could stop the blights once and for all. I know it's going to be really hard to lean into this because you've been trained to kill Darkspawn unilaterally for your entire life and you've built your core identity around it. I need you to trust in my leadership here that this is something that we can consider. Very difficult, but it makes sense why she would have that reaction.
I do, but... I hope you know what you're doing.
Sigrun may agree, but I do not. This monster murdered countless Grey Wardens. They must be avenged.
You're just saying that from a space of like one-to-one justice and a lack of foresight and probably some anger from inside Kristoff's head. So justice to me doesn't have a lot of pull with me right now. You're just gonna have to trust me, dude.
I cannot trust it, but I will follow it for now.
Works for me.
Thank you, Commander. I realize what a leap of faith this is for you. I hope that I prove worthy of your trust. The mother lies ahead, Warden. I cannot approach her physically. Her children protect her from my power. But when you reach her, I will do whatever I can to help you. You have my promise.
Interesting. So his empathy there was that's a hell of a move, man. That guy knows what he's doing. He really does. Like, his acknowledgement of that leap of faith, I think, is very important, because it gives me confidence again in his ability to empathize, right? To evaluate situations. It shows that perhaps Darkspawn can be worked with. All right. Oh, good. All right. Well. Crap. Not good. Not good. Put that crystal in. Alrighty. We'll see what that actually ends up doing for us. please be in this next room, man. I'm so tired of fighting random ass darkspawn. Great question, sweet honesty. I don't know what it means for their future, right? Like, who knows how they make it? Maybe they can do it the conventional way. Or maybe there's a way to have consensual brood mothers. I have no idea. God, dude. Having fun yet?
What? I'll get on it.
All these crystals. I'm guessing we gotta grab more in this tunnel. Good enough. Mama! Ooh. Didn't mean to make you cry. The nest. Here we are. Oh, there she is. Looking good, mother. Oh shit, I should have summoned the bear.
Now the pieces fall into place. The Grey Warden comes, the instrument of the Father. Oh, and the Father, he is but a shadow. Oh, how my children protect me. How they love me.
I have told you many times, Mother. I am not the Father. I am simply the Architect.
It does not change what you are. You took away that beautiful music, left us with nothing.
It was a mistake to free you. It has left you with madness. I am truly sorry.
I hate all of these. So, the Architect intends to free the Darkspawn. I trust him. You a full-time streamer or a psychologist? Both. I'm a licensed therapist and I stream full-time.
Ah, but perhaps Perhaps the Warden would like to hear how it was that the Father began the Blight. You want the source of the Archdemon? The one who brought all our kind to the surface? Here he is!
Oh,
I was correct. All of these creatures are irredeemable fiends.
Ah, there it is then. Unfortunate. I did find the old god Athemiel, but I did not wish another blight. I attempted my joining ritual. My hope was that this would free all Darkspawn, unravel the curse from its source. Alas, I was unlucky.
You even think about the repercussions of what you do, big dog?
Is it not the way of the Grey Wardens to do what must be done? In the name of combating the Blight? The Blight is a menace, both for your people and for mine. To end it requires sacrifice and risk.
And how lonely the Father was. How terrible to be the outcast, the outsider. He claims he wishes the Darkspawn to be free, but what he truly wants is to correct them.
However you feel about what I have done, the Mother is mad. She cannot be allowed to...
Begone, Shadow! Any more than you already have. And now the hero is alone. Oh, the Mother knows your ways. You will not let her be, no, not after what she's done. So it must end. It all must come crashing down! Perhaps we will hear the song again when we die. Oh, let it come. Let it come.
Could she get any worse? Oh my god! Nathaniel, the bear, please. Sigurd's getting her ass whooped right now. Why does Sigrid have aggro? Get her out of here. No, Sigrid, you stay here, please. For right now, I need you to stay here. Oh shit.
Let's make this quick.
Man, this sucks. Sigrun is gonna be drunk by the end of this. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, but it does. Oh god, I forgot. It does. Oh god, this does damage to your party. Get out of there. Oh god. Oh, not good. Not good. Not good. Oh, the frame rate. Oh, the frame rate. Drink up, Ryan. Drink up, please. Hurry. Oh my god. Nathaniel, the bear. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I do, Ben, but you're going to have to wait. No idea what the implications of that are going to be. After the death of the mother, the remaining Darkspawn forces scattered and fled back into the deep roads. The raids on Amaranthine came to an abrupt end. The architect apparently kept his word, gathering his remaining disciples to follow the rest of their kind back underground. Those Grey Wardens in other nations were appalled to hear of the architect's continued existence, but were unable to track him down despite years of effort. Some within the Order have claimed that the architect's survival guarantees another blight, and yet the deep roads have lately been quieter than any can recall. Most have resignedly decided that it is now in the Maker's hands. Word of the Grey Warden's heroic salvation of Amaranthine spread like wildfire. When the magnitude of the losses at Vigil's Keep came to light, sympathy drove generous donations from all over Ferelden into the region's coffers. Amaranthine was restored to her former glory within a year. Vigil's Keep in 5. Nice. Because of the Warden's support for law and order in Amaranthine, Constable Aiden and his men were able to distribute the smuggler's goods to the battered survivors in the grueling days that followed the Darkspawn defeat. Love that. The Darkspawn messenger, set free after joining the Wardens in the Battle of Amaranthine, struck out on his own. The city soon buzzed with stories of a cloaked but lisping figure who aided travelers in danger. At the same time, reports of isolated cases of the Darkspawn disease emerged. No one connected the two. Oh, that's interesting. The Arling's peasants suffered greatly during the war, and suffered yet worse in the years that followed. Success at the first riot at Vigil's Keep emboldened them, and thus other uprisings followed, often put down with brutality. Yikes. Although the war devastated many farms in the Arling, all agreed the loss would have been greater without soldiers for protection. The farm holders developed a certain reverence for the Warden Commander, as well as an ongoing reliance on the Grey Wardens for order and protection. Dirk, one of the pranksters behind the Blight Orphan scam, was fortunate enough to survive the Battle of Amaranthine. The unconditional generosity of the Blight Orphan's mysterious benefactor inspired him to establish a legitimate charity dedicated to children orphaned in the attack. His sweetheart, Melissa, eventually bore him 2 rascals. Vigil's Keep stood alone against the horde of Darkspawn. The Mother's forces outnumbered the Vigil's defenders many times over. But the sturdy dwarven walls proved impervious to any boulder an ogre could throw. The Vigil soldiers, clad in silverite, each felled a dozen Darkspawn before they died. The Vigil held 1 night, then 2, then a week, and eventually the attacking horde broke upon her walls. The keep developed an almost mythic reputation. The few survivors immortalized in song and legend. Peace allowed the Wardens to replenish their numbers. Soon, Vigil's Keep bore a capable army with Wardens at its core. From the ranks emerged new heroes to challenge threats to Amaranthine and all of Ferelden. Through taxes and levies, the Vigil was rebuilt. Years later, Voldric Galvanic stood on the battlements and pronounced that the defenses were acceptable. He would never speak more highly of any human engineering. Dark whispers of conspiracy against the Wardens fell silent after a rash of accidents and disappearances culminated in the apparent suicide of Ban Esmerel. The nobles of Amaranthine remained dutiful. Some even suggest they were cowed into submission. Dworkin Glavennik further refined his lyrium sand explosives, but left the Warden's employ after Qunari mercenaries tried to assassinate him. Although the Dwarven bombardier took his secrets with him, the learned say he left clues for others to follow in his footsteps. The Vigil soldiers, wearing the distinctive silverite armor that Maker Wade crafted, came to be known as the Silver Order. Under the tutelage of the Wardens, the Silver Order developed into one of Ferelden's most revered military forces, a lasting memory of the Vigil's famous commander. A few years after Kal Hiral was emptied of Darkspawn, Orzammar began sending expeditions to rediscover the knowledge of smithing that had been lost within the Taig. Eventually, House Helmi decided that Kal Hiral was too important to be abandoned. At the tremendous cost of dwarven lives, they cleared the tunnels leading to Kal Hiral of all Darkspawn, making the road between Orzammar and the fortress safe again. Kal Hiral was reclaimed for Orzammar once and for all. As promised, Voldrik and Dworkin presented Orzammar's Shaperate with the stone marker that had told of how Kal Hiral's Castless had taken up arms against the Darkspawn. The commander of the Grey was invited to Orzammar as a guest of honor at a feast commemorating the defenders of Kal Hiral. The Shaper read the names of the Castless off the marker, then presided over a ceremony to return to them return them to the stone as befitted warriors of their stature. In time, the Arling began to forget the tales of apparitions in the Black Marsh, and ever so slowly settlers drifted to the region. Scholars said the veil was still thin and thus the area still dangerous, but the people only cared that there were no longer frightened whispers in the shadows. The village was slowly rebuilt. Twice the Baroness's mansion was rebuilt and occupied, once by a wealthy merchant and another time by an Orlesian mage. Both died mysteriously. Afterwards, the mansion was torn down completely and the site left untouched. After spending a number of years with the Wardens, Nathaniel realized the life was not for him. He disappeared from the barracks one evening, reportedly off to seek fortune outside of Ferelden. Interesting. Once the Darkspawn threat was ended, Justice left the Grey Wardens to pursue other injustices. Years later, he appeared on the doorstep of Kristoff's widow and, smiling, simply dropped dead. Aura finally had a body to mourn, and the spirit of itself remains alive. It has not shown itself. That's actually really... That's really interesting. That's kind of cool. With the mother dead, Sigrun seemed to lose her purpose. She withdrew from her friends in the Order and spoke to them less and less each day. One morning, Sigrun was simply absent, her bed made and her trunk emptied. A young recruit who had been up in the night said that she had left for her calling, gone to finish what she started in Kal Hiral. That doesn't surprise me. As for the savior of Ferelden, he did not remain as commander for the Grey very long. Good. The Darkspawn were no longer a real concern. The blight well and truly over. It was time for him to move on. The commander returned to life at court in Denerim, rumored to be the true power behind the throne, until one day he was simply gone. Nobody knows for what purpose he departed, yet neither does anyone think his tale is complete. Whew. Well, hey. I'm going to kill the music because I don't want to get DMCA'd. All right, I'm glad we finished that because that was good info. Man. What a time. 8 episodes to get through Awakening. Those of you that have watched this on YouTube, thank you so much for taking the time out of your days, your nights, to make this something that you engaged with. I'm really grateful for that. I realized that Awakening didn't have as many moments for us to go super deep as Origins did. It was a lot of combat. So if you made it to the end of this, thank you. I will not be doing the other DLCs for this game. I'm just going to say that right at the outset. I'm tired of the crashes. I'm tired of the combat. It's time for us to move on. I do intend at some point to do Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. I do not know that it will be right away, but they're on my list. I really am. For those of you that have been out here on Twitch, that have been here live with me on it, thank you for making the effort to come out for these and to hang out with me and to chat with me while I do this. And this was a good time. Dragon Age is a game that was near and dear to my heart many, many, many years ago, and I had forgotten it completely, so it was nice to relive it in this frame. And I hope that this playthrough was something that showed that there can be real power in just making the decisions with the best amount of information you have and bearing the consequences of that. I find these playthroughs to be incredibly satisfying as a result of that. I don't strive to have the most ideal ending. If we get there, that's awesome. But I have absolutely no interest in playing any of the other DLC. There's lots of other content creators out on YouTube that have done it. I am done with Dragon Age Origins. I am quite literally going to uninstall this from my computer after we finish this stream tonight. So it's done. But thank you for all of your support and for continuing to make the effort. I will say this, as I have said every time we finish a playthrough. Whether it's BioWare, whether it's another game developer, whether it's another studio, if you find my work to be inspiring or useful, I am always available. If you'd like to contact me, drmicklive@gmail.com, or you can find me on the socials that are down in the description. If you want a licensed therapist / psychologist to take a look at your character development, give you any feedback, analyze certain things, I am more than happy to be that kind of resource. So feel free to hit me up if that's something you'd like for your own games. And those of you that share my content with the people around you and say, hey, this is a cool playthrough, you should check it out, I cannot thank you enough for spreading the word about what I do. It's very, very cool of you to do. So everybody on that list of credits, you're awesome. Thank you for making the effort. Check out my other playthroughs here on YouTube. We've got a whole bunch of them, and if you're all caught up on all of them, I will catch you in the next playthrough. Much love. I say this when I end my Twitch streams. I don't say it as often on YouTube, but I'll say it on this one. You matter, your experiences are valid, and don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. See you on the next playthrough, friends. Thanks for making Dragon Age a fun one. Hope you enjoyed it. Adios.